we go then. That time of day again. Back out on the bike. Sun's out. And sorry if you can hear the wind. I got my visor up. Let's put it down a bit. I had a message on my last video, somebody asking me what I think of the bike, and I said next time I go out on it I will give like a little review. Now, I'm not a review channel. I'm not going to go in depth about it, like you know, the torque numbers and stuff, but what I will do is tell you what it's like to ride and live with. So what I'm going to go through is the pros and cons of this bike, and well, you know, so one thing I will say about it is it's extremely comfortable. I mean, I could ride this bike all day and have no problem whatsoever. You know, it is so comfortable. It's like sitting in a chair. Second thing I'll say about this bike, it's not fast, and that's a good thing, because there's an old saying, it's better to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. There's not enough power or speed in this bike to get me in trouble. There is enough acceleration to get me out of trouble though. Top speed of this bike is about 65 mile an hour, or around about 100 kph. But she will happily sit at about 50-55, and for me here where I live, that's good enough. I mean, a 125 isn't gonna break land speed records, but this is where the 125 dominates. Town riding, city riding, because it's economical, sips fuel, and that's another thing. The fuel economy. This has a 13 litre fuel tank on it, and it costs me anyway, depending on where I go. Fuck, you weren't even looking. Depending on where I go, anywhere between say 12 to 15 pound, and that will last me on average around 250 miles, because I'm doing this sort of riding. So that's another good thing. Another pro with this bike is it's just all around cheap. Cheap to run, cheap to maintain, cheap to own, and it's just amazing. The cons, I don't know whether or not you want to call this a con or not, but I better put it in there because some people will. It's Chinese. Me, I literally couldn't give a shit where a motorbike is from. It could be Chinese, fucking Korean, Japanese, German, British, American. It doesn't matter where your bike is made. As long as you're out on two wheels, who cares? Alright? But one of the cons for me as a rider of this bike, some parts are hard to come by. Handlebars, I don't think you can get them That's what I've got these aftermarket ones on for. But to be honest, cons, there's no con about riding this bike. Some people might say it hasn't got ABS, but that's not a bad thing. It has combined braking though, so when I touch the back brake, some of the front brake comes on, and that is better for a newer rider than ABS, because that will keep the bike level, whereas ABS, you know, if you rely too much on ABS, you can it can be detrimental to your riding. So this is one of the things. Another thing, con about this bike is, I'll show you now, there's not a lot of power in it. I think it's under 10 brake horsepower. I think it's 9.4 brake horsepower. So on the flat, you don't really notice it. Like, I'm up to the speed of the road now, 40 mile an hour, which is, you know, easily achievable on this bike. I'm in 5th gear, revs are not too high, sipping the fuel, and I'm on, you know, it's easy street, nothing to worry about. But when you get to a hill, that's a different story. I'm gonna have to drop the gear to 4th and hold it. I got a biker behind me. If he wants to go past me, he can do. I'll let him fly. Don't even get a thanks for it. Just shows the state of biking these days. Nobody, you know, it's ridiculous. Although I did say I'll have to drop the gear. I'm holding 5th. Alright, I'm speeding. I'm doing about 45 mile an hour right now, but she's holding, which is a good thing. I mean, that's the difference between filtering and riding like an idiot. Filtering's fine if you need to, but he's just overtaking just for the sake of it, and that's why, I mean, riders like that, they will give the rest of us bad names, because they just think the road belongs to them, and it doesn't. We all have to share the road, and we all have to look out for each other. No indicator on that guy. Just check the blind spot, we're good. Now another con I will say about this bike is, a lot of people say about the tyres, because they're Chinese and they're nylon. But I haven't had a problem with these tyres. I've ridden them in the wet, dry, cold, icy conditions, and I haven't had a problem with the tyres on this bike. I mean, you drive to the conditions of the road. If it's icy, you're not going to be thrashing the bike around and driving it as fast as you can. Same as in the wet. So, it's not really a con, because you should be riding to the conditions of the road anyway. So, if you're slipping out in the wet and in coldy conditions, maybe take a look at your own riding before you start blaming the bike. Anyway, I'm going to be pulling off up here soon, because I'm going to one of my favourite places to go to have a walk and a chill out. So I don't know if you caught a glimpse of it on the camera there then, but yeah, I like coming here, like to have a walk around, you know. Be me with my thoughts, and you know, oh well, back out on the bike. Had a nice time by the pond there, you know. It's nice to just get out and have a stroll, have a walk, you know, especially considering you spend most of winter inside your house. Anyway, as I was saying about the bike, the pros and cons, I think I covered it really. It's hard to explain. I'm not here trying to sell the bike to you. I can only tell you my experiences and what I think about the bike. And as a starter bike, for your CBT, or even if you just want to stay on any 125 A1 license, I think this is just phenomenal. There's it has all the power you need to do the speed limits of the road, you know. The maximum speed we can do here in the UK on any one road is 70 miles an hour, and this bike will quite happily sit at around 60. So yeah, you're not going to be overtaking much. You are going to get overtaken quite a lot, but this bike isn't meant to be one that you overtake a lot of traffic on. It's a cruiser, so why not ride it like one and enjoy the scenery? I mean, these roads, 40, 50 mile an hour roads, this bike is perfect for it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the best 125cc bike you can get on the market, but what I'm going to tell you is, if you just want a bike to commute back and forth to work, enjoy the Sunday rides with, this bike is perfect. That's one thing I've started practicing doing as well, is when coming up to traffic lights, crouch them slow and learn how to stop the bike to a standstill and move off again without putting my feet down. Just practicing and doing my slow control and slow maneuvers, because on a 125 you're always going to be doing them, and that's another advantage of a motorbike. We have these stupid speed bumps sometimes, that these ones are not too bad, but these ones, oh, they are ridiculous. But on a bike you just get to go past them like that. It's good. my music choice today that I have in my ears, blasting through my comm system, is good old Jimi Hendrix. I have some Jimi Hendrix on today, which is good. You might be able to hear it, I don't know. If you do, then enjoy. So, have you all been out riding lately? Do you ride all year round, or do you pack up for the winter? I mean, I've tried the best I can to go out as often as I can through the winter. It's not due to the fact that I can't ride in the winter. It's more to do with the fact that I haven't got the gear for it. I have no heated gear, I don't have heated grips or anything like that, so although I can ride in the winter, it'd be too cold, way too cold for me. But who knows, maybe at the end of this year I'll have everything I need, heated gear, heated grips, and then I'll ride all year round then myself. Anyway, if there are some things you want me to talk about while I'm on the bike, please feel free to write it down in the comments, or you know, and let me know what you'd like me to talk about. I mean, I could talk about the license system in the UK, but there are so many videos about on that subject, it'd just be pointless. I don't want to be one of them people on the bike that cover the same stuff every other biker covers, you know. I just want to ride and talk, and whatever I talk about is going to stay in the video. I won't cut anything. So I'll also tell you my thought processes sometimes when I'm riding. It's like now, you know, it's a nice day, and this is a bad habit I gotta get out of, but it is, you know. So you go onto a 50-mile-an-hour road now. Let me just show you what the bike can do on a 50. That's 40 mile an hour already into fifth, and there we are, we're at 50 mile an hour. I mean, it's not exactly slow getting to the speeds that I ride on. This is actually the perfect bike for me. Yeah, I could get something bigger if I wanted, but there'd be no point. You know, there'd be no point. For the roads that I ride this bike on, this is just effortless. Even if I had a bigger bike, I'd still be riding the same roads. You know, it's not like I'd start riding down the motorways constantly. I mean, I can get all around Britain without even touching the high-speed roads, and I'll probably have more fun doing it that way anyway, through the back roads, country lanes and stuff. Yeah, it might take me a little bit longer to get to places, but I think I'd have more fun doing it this way. Anyway, I think I better go. I'm not going to cut anything out. You can hear me talking gibberish. or hear me stuttering and not saying words correctly, you know, that's just who I am. I'm not going to change who I am just because I got a camera and a microphone. I am who I am. But I'm off to town now to get myself a coffee, I think. Have a nice coffee, warm myself up a bit, because even though the sun's out, which is, you know, being in Wales is a bit of a alien concept to us right now. And if that van wants to carry on coming instead of fucking stopping like a dickhead. So, yeah. Even though we have sun out, it's still a bit chilly. So I'm gonna go and get myself a nice cup of coffee and have a warm up. But that's another thing that I don't like, is you know, it's one thing that you have to get used to on a bike. People just don't care. They literally don't care about you. All they care about is where they're going. They don't care about the safety for you or others. Well, I've had my coffee, warmed up a bit. Time to go home now and do some housework or whatever, you know, be an adult. So quick ride through town. I'm back home. So I hope you enjoyed this ride with me today. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the greatest rider in the world. I have a lot to learn. And if you have any tips or anything that can help me on my journey, you'd be much obliged. Because, you know, always have to learn more. But, you know, now the weather's starting to get better, I'll be out more and more. And I'll go further afield. More further destinations, longer videos. I might not commentate over all of them. You might get just some raw sounds, and sometimes some videos might be commentaried or commentaried or whatever, have commentary on it. But yeah, so it's actually warming up again now, which is great. So here we go, nice ride through town now. Got to adjust this mirror up tad. Might be a little bit too much. little bit more, that's perfect. Awesome. Oh, some nice bike scooters. So now the sun's out, a lot more bikers will be out, which is always a good thing, you know. The only, talking about another negative about this bike is the what's going on here? Another negative is the gearing. You find yourself between gears a lot. You know. Maybe riding through town wasn't a good idea. Talking about the gearing, I know I can up the sprocket, have an extra tooth on the front sprocket. Which will help with the gearing for first, second and third, you know, make them a little bit more usable around town and that. But I mean, I just don't think it's worth it. That's a nice car. Whew, very nice. So, you know, you'll see. But I know people who have up the tooth on their 125s. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, it throws the speed out even more. And to be honest, I just don't think it's worth it on a 125, any modification really, when people put exhaust systems, sprockets, yada yada yada, etc. It's just, it's not worth it on a 125. I mean, I have a new handlebars and mirrors, but that's because I come off and I bent mine, you know. I didn't have a choice. But modifying your exhaust systems, I just, pretty pointless on a single cylinder 4-stroke 125. I mean, it's just no point. It's like the people who put exhaust systems on their 1 litre Corsas. No point. Actually, no point whatsoever. But that's what I think anyway. You know. But yeah, thank you for coming along with me on this ride today. Why are we braking so heavy? And hope you all get out on a bike soon. And if you're thinking about riding, do it. It's the best thing in the world. Just the freedom on a motorbike, you just can't explain it. You have to experience it to get it, you know. If you haven't ridden a motorbike before, then nothing prepares you for the absolute thrill you see. You can stop. Thrill you get when you get on one for the first time. Oh, all those little humps in the road like that hurt. But yeah, the thrill you get on a motorbike, you just can't explain it. It has to be felt. You know, it's hard to put into words just how good it is to pull a throttle back on a motorbike and just experience that shift in power and acceleration and have the wind against you. I mean, even on a 125, it's still phenomenal. But also, you have to respect the machine, even though it is a 125. A fall at 20, 30 mile an hour, no matter what bike you're on, it's gonna hurt equally, no matter whether you're on a 50cc or a Hayabusa. 30 mile an hour is 30 mile an hour. Fucking people drive on the wrong side of the road on a blind bend. I mean, it's just, what's the matter with people? Alright, here we go. Over a small bridge, river. But these are the roads that I like. You're on a little country road, all the back roads. It's just so good to just chill out and not worry about whether or not you're breaking the speed limits. Oh, the only thing about the country roads is stuff like that. Loose surfaces. You've got to be careful, because no matter what bike you're on, that sort of stuff will throw you off. But anyway, I'll leave you here now, and I'll catch you next time. Remember, ride safe and keep your two wheels down. Until next time.